Hi, I'm Milton Friedgeck, and I'd like to show you how to traverse galaxies in just a matter of minutes and with only 5 or 6 required repairs. The first thing you'll need is a good starship and a good multi-tool. So let's see. Good starship, basically you just need the usual hyperdrive and a decent hyperdrive. And of course you'll want your good multi-tool. Let's see, here's my good multi-tool. You will also need a crappy starship and a crappy multi-tool. So here's my starship that I'm going to use for traversing galaxies, and it will be the only thing that I'll have to do any repairs on. And it only needs just the basics. It will need the launch thrusters, shields, pulse engine, hyperdrive, and you'll need either, depending on the galaxy you go to, an Indium drive or an Emeril drive. And the crappy multi-tool doesn't need anything on it. It doesn't matter. You'll also need some materials that you'll want to have on hand. You'll need a few. You'll want to have a few repair kits. You might just want to take a screenshot or make note of the materials I have here in this ship, because this is pretty much what you'll need. Chromatic metal, sodium, dihydrogen or cobalt, copper, carbon, oxygen. Pretty much the usual stuff. You'll also want some wiring looms, hermetic seals, and metal plating. And then you'll need cadmium and Emeril to repair your Indium drive and Emeril drive if need be. You'll also want some warp fuel and some launch fuel. And the one other thing that you'll need is an exocraft like a Nomad that has a the Exocraft Radar. So the first thing that you'll do is land on any planet in the system that has a civilization. If it's an empty system, then it's not going to work. So it needs to be Korvax or Gek or Vykeen. So you summon your exocraft, you go to your radar and search for alien structures. And let's see, there's the alien structure. I'm going to go ahead and mark it, and I'll hop into my good ship. And zip on over. Now at the Monolith, you'll need to interact with it and answer a question, and you have to answer it correctly. So I would recommend if you answer the question incorrectly, just reload the game, reload your save. Not the best parking job. Alright, so we'll hop out and let's see, we'll find where we interact. So we'll go in and we'll be asked one question. So I'll just answer with one, and if you answer correctly, you'll be able to interact with it again. So I interacted correctly because it's allowing me to interact a second time. So we'll interact, and this is a Vykeen system, so I'll need to donate a Vykeen Dagger to it. So I've donated the dagger, and that will reveal a portal. So where is the portal? Find the portal. Oops. There's the portal. Oops. Got to switch back to my good multi-tool. Let's mark the portal. hop back into the good starship and zip on over to the portal. Alright, land at the portal. Now, one thing I like to do at the portal is I like to slap down a minimal base just so that I can get back to this particular galaxy anytime I want. Alright, next we're going to need to charge the portal. This is where you'll need dihydrogen, copper or cadmium, carbon or oxygen, sodium, and dihydrogen or cobalt is what I usually use. Charge up all 16 of these. Alright, now we'll activate the portal, and you put in 12 of the sunset icons. And what this will do is this will portal us very near the center of this galaxy. Alright, it is charged. And jump in the portal. And this is going to take us to within about 5,000 light years from the center. Alright, we're now at the other end of the portal. So I'm going to hop back in my ship and go to space. And we'll look at the map, and we'll see that we're currently in Eisentam. And let's select the galactic core. And you can see there's the galactic core. So we're about 5,000 light years from the center. And I'm going to fly as far as I can with this ship. I've got about 1,900 light year range. So I'll just hop into a system that gets us closer to the center. Okay. Alright, we hopped here. Now we're going to hop again. And this should get us right up near the edge. So we get as close as we can to there's a center. So we want to get as close as we can to it. So let's go with this system called Iris. Alright, now that we're in the Iris system, let's go to the galaxy map again and select the galactic core. And let's see, it's going to take us to this system. So when you get really close, you have to actually go to the system. You have to get to the system that it considers right on the edge. Okay, let's look again. Alright, so you can see that the next hop, there's where we are, and the next hop is the center of the galaxy. So we are at the jump point. So now that we're at the jump point, we want to fly to the space station. And then once in the space station, we're going to switch to our crappy ship, the one that's going to take the damage. So we'll switch to my galaxy hopper ship. And I'm going to switch to my crappy multitool. So there's the crappy multitool that I don't care about, and my starship with minimal goodies. The last thing you want to do is in your exosuit, remove any upgrades, and you remove them with the X. So here, I've already done that, but I'll show you how that's done. So here I've got a few upgrades installed. So you do the X to store technology, and then just save it in your inventory. If it's installed, then it will be damaged when you go to another galaxy. If it's in your inventory, it will not take damage. So only leave the bare necessities. Oh, I've got my Exocraft summoning. I want to take that out. Alright, so now I don't have any upgrades installed. That will avoid having to do any repairs on my exosuit. Alright, now we're going to jump into the crappy ship. Make sure that the hyperdrive is fueled. It has to be at 100% fuel. If it's anything less than 100% fuel, then when you try to jump to the galaxy core, it will tell you you have no fuel. So we're fully fueled, and we're set to on the gotta be on the galactic core, and we'll select that and dive in. So here we go, diving into the next galaxy. This takes a couple minutes. Here we are, closing in on the new galaxy, El Cupolos. Begin initialization.
Multitool and mining laser attachment.
And here we are. The first thing to do is switch to your good multitool again, and then locate your crashed starship. There it is. You have to have your good multitool with a working scanner. So I'll show you the result. So with the crappy multitool, everything's broken, and the starship, everything's broken. That's why you need to switch to the good multitool. I've marked the crashed starship. Now I'm going to summon my good starship. Now once here, you don't have to repair the starship unless you're going to be doing this to jump to multiple galaxies. So since I like to jump to multiple galaxies, I'm going to go ahead and repair it, and this is where it generally takes 5 repairs. So we'll repair the launch thrusters, the shields, the pulse engine, the hyperdrive, and I'll go ahead and repair the cadmium drive. And it might be good to go ahead and fuel the hyperdrive so that you want it to be ready if you're going to be doing this process multiple times. You want to have it all repaired. Now back to my exosuit. This is where, if I'm done galaxy hopping, then I'll go ahead and install my upgrades back into my exosuit and enjoy the new galaxy. I hope you have found this video useful, and hopefully you have a good time exploring multiple galaxies with a minimal of repairs. Thank you for watching.